New review. It's technically old. It's technically old, but we're gonna talk about it anyways because I love talking about music, and yeah, I have to talk about my thoughts on this record. MGMT's Oracle Spectacular. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, come on, you already know, right? The 2000s, man, that was a magical time. No, it really wasn't a magical time. Middle school kind of sucked. But hey, the music was good. I remember when I started branching out to the music I was listening to. I used to just, when I was little, because my parents used to listen to country radio, so that was what I was listening to at the time. And yeah, I really didn't know what I was missing for quite a while. And then I finally started branching out, and I got an iTunes account, and I started buying music left and right, just random stuff. I wasn't even listening to it, I was just buying it. And one of the songs I happened to buy was Time to Pretend by MGMT. Now back then, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. It took me a while to actually really digest the song, but once I got into it, man, I got into it like that. Sorry, that was a really bad snap. So MGMT is a band from Connecticut, and they have a primary focus on like indie rock sound and psychedelic and pop music, which for me, okay, I'll go with it. So whenever I started listening to these guys, I was thinking these guys sound like Pond, Cream, and even some Sonic Youth in there. But overall, I feel like the sound here is very fresh and their own, like they own it. So the album actually starts with the song Time to Pretend, which is this very heavily electronic based song, but there is some guitar and instrumentation in there, but mostly the synthesizers kind of steal the show here. And the lyrical content here is like kind of the hopes and dreams of becoming famous and, you know, doing cocaine and having models for wives. You know, the American Dream 2007. It almost sounds like a satire of the lifestyles of the rich and the famous, if I'm allowed to say that. Most of the themes I found on this album have to do with like childhood or growing up, essentially, with songs like Weekend Wars and Kids especially, and the youth. But as we go down the track listing here, it's just, it really kicks your butt, like in a good way. Like the next song we got here is Electric Feel, and right from the start, you just get this, like a breath of fresh air that hits you in the face, and you're just like falling back almost, because how incredible this song sounds. From the opening bass line that you start hearing that prominently carries the song, essentially, and those very, like, brightly smooth drum playing that just feels like it's punchy enough to be noticeable. And the vocalizations here, they're just awesome. It's like so seductive and very chill and like kind of like a player would kind of present himself to a woman, and it kind of feels that way, and just like he's just like trying to seduce this woman as he's getting taught how to swim, essentially. It just feels like it's a very in the moment kind of song, and it just feels like you're actually in this location wherever they are in the Amazon, in the water. But yeah, that's just how I see it. I'm just like, I kind of picture myself in that with the girl I like at the time, and yeah, it just kind of plays out like that for me, at least. And where the instrumentation, it just keeps building, and then that chorus hits, and it all comes in full circle, and it's just like this orgasmic thing that happens, and only MGMT could make it like this, which is not a bad thing, because like this song has aged incredibly well. And we also got the hit song Kids, and to me this is like a parent's perspective in watching their children grow, or being that child growing up, and you're just like learning all these new things, new ideas and such. And it's not like a deep song, but it's an understandable song. You're just like, I can relate. I just really like this song. It's been one of my favorites for years, and even rappers have even sampled it. Like Chitty Bang, I believe that's who sampled that. Not as good as this song though, cause I once was a kid in it. I can't remember the lyrics to that song. It's been a while since I've heard it, because it's just not as good as this song. As the album kind of progresses down the track listing, it kind of goes to this like acoustic setting, and it's not as electronic based, and I like that. It kind of changes the album without sounding like it's a totally different piece. Like the song Pieces of What kind of has this traditional sound to it, and some really nice string textures and some percussion and guitar. But what really stands out are the next few tracks. The Handshake, which is kind of like this 70s homage kind of song in my opinion. So yeah, there are synths on this song, but they don't really, like, they're not prominent. They're just there for some textural work. And overall, this is just like a 70s pop song, and I love 70s music, so this is a win. This is definitely a win. Also, that 70s vibe carries over with Birds and Monsters, which is another really great song with a nice layered vocal style in there and some really kinetic guitars in there and a nice solo, and just it's a phenomenal song. So overall, I highly recommend this album. If you have not listened to it, it's been about a decade since this album came out, and it's aged perfectly fine in my opinion, and I just wanted to get my thoughts on this album because I love it. It's a classic to me. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Just wanted to make a quick review before work, and I hope you enjoyed it, and peace.